Welcome to the Holy Yogi, where we help you find the guru inside of you. Hello, beautiful. Hello, handsome. How you doing today? And if no one has told you today that they love you, let me be the first. I love you, each and every single one of you. And with that said, what I'd like you to do before we begin our love message for today, I'd like you to like, I'd like you to comment, I need you to subscribe and hit that notification button because we have some really awesome information to share with you today. Now, about a couple of days ago, I got a message from a wonderful diva. And she was basically saying, you know, I am so glad that I found you because I'm really ready to get my life together. And, you know, I am, committed to becoming a better me. And I want to thank that diva so much for that message. Because as well as I may be giving encouraging messages and information to her, she is doing the same for me. And I decided to take the time out to tell you know who you are, and also that wonderful diva that plans on coming in and listening to this information, that I'm so humbled that you're here. And I'm so humbled. I want to tell you a little bit deeper about some of the challenges that I have experienced in life, to let you know for sure, without a doubt, that there is heaven right here on earth. And I'm just going to get some cliff notes about it, because sometimes when people see you, they make assumptions about you, and it's not true. And a lot of people have, over the years, have made assumptions about me, not knowing my life story, and fully not I have an opportunity to really appreciate that the information that I share with you come from the streets of Hard Knocks, come from really graduating from the School of Spiritual Special Ed, when we do the same thing over and over and over again, dysfunctional things over and over again, and expecting different results is a sign of crazy. And I tell you right now, I was in that school to the point where as I found myself homeless. And that right there, my dear friends, was a major homeless with a 1-year-old baby in my arms. But let me have no fear. Spirituality is here. It was by the grace of God, within 18 months, I became a millionaire. And, the rest was history, type of thing. Now, not that, that I haven't had changes after that wonderful experience. As a matter of fact, I'm going for my second million now as we speak. But guess what? The beautiful thing about it is they would say your second million is a little bit easier than the first, and more importantly, with the lessons that I've learned over the course of the years, well, let's just say it's going to be really hunky-dory now that I got my spiritual armor on. And that's what I'm talking about. A lot of people see me and don't know, that I came from a single mother, from Philadelphia, raised on welfare. My dad was definitely a deadbeat dad, and he was a local drug dealer in the city of Philadelphia. You can tell, I had my first beer when I was 5, my first joint when I was 8. I was reading Playgirl magazine when I was 10 and smoking cigarettes and tapping into marijuana and just a lot of things that most 10-year-olds should definitely not be doing. Luckily, and I say this in my mom's defense, she knew nothing about it. Like I said, my dad was a deadbeat dad. I never grew up, I never lived with my dad, but my mother always wanted me to have the opportunity to still be with my dad, even though she knew it was not a very healthy type of experience. And if she had known then what I was experiencing when I was in his company and care, let's just say I would not be seeing him any longer. And to be honest with you, that's why I never told her. because I still wanted to be with my dad, even though I knew what he was exposing me to was wrong. I knew better. And I was so grateful for my mother because I voluntarily chose to not do it. I did it before just to gain his attention and just to gain his love because that was his thing, that was his lifestyle type of thing. And so that's why I did it. But after a while, I knew, I stopped requesting wanting to be with him, and I preferred to be at home. And she never pushed it, type of thing. And then in addition to that, I grew up. I got married at 18 years of age. And my husband cheated on me within that year, went off to college, got a divorce by the time I'm 19, trying to go to school to get into pre-med, end up pre-law, type of thing. Went on to, go to college, graduated, got that degree, then went out there, think I'm going to conquer the world and I'll be making $100,000 in 3 years, and lo and behold, being an African-American woman in the US of A, I got stuck in the rat race, and I got stuck with a lot of racism and sexism and a lot of all those other isms, unfortunately even experienced, I'm not going to call it date rape, but I will call it, matter of fact, that was back before I graduated from college, or that was from a boyfriend before I got married, and didn't even call it that, didn't even know it was that, because that's how much of a low self-esteem that I had as far as my body, as far as my power, and who had rights over it. And more importantly, I didn't quite, like I said, when you don't grow up with a male positive influence in your life, and you've been abused, emotionally and mentally and spiritually in that relationship, well, it transcends over into other areas. So, we're talking about 2 marriages in, second divorce from the husband that decided to empty our joint checking account, which made me a millionaire in 18 months. Let's just say, and along that journey, I had the beautiful experience. My mother was a great foundation. But even she and I had our challenges as far as, the mother and daughter complex type of relationship. But all the course of that, and to be honest with you, as I think about it, alcoholism, drug addiction on my mother's side and on my father's side, man, a lot, as you can see. I'm just giving you this, nuts and bolts of so many experiences, that I've had over the years, to share this with you. And now we're getting into this whole abortion situation, which is bringing up a lot of stuff for me, because unfortunately I had 2 abortions, knowing that during my early 20s I was totally not financially, could not depend on the mates that I chose, coming from a dysfunctional relationship from my father. I chose dysfunctional men and relationships, and I knew that they were irresponsible. I knew that they would end up being deadbeat dads, because we draw to us what we know and what we are. But this whole thing about the decision and having power over a woman's body and things of that nature is coming up for me now. And once again, the beautiful thing about the spiritual nature of it. But I shared all of this with you, not to really discuss it with you today, but to let each and every single one of you beautiful souls out there, all you women and all you men who have been in dysfunctional relationships or have been poor in poverty, growing up poor and in poverty, and some of you may have experienced what I did, and then becoming rich and wealthy and a millionaire. All of the experiences that you go through makes you a better you. People always ask me, would I change anything that have happened in my life? Oh my God, no. The many blessings. Maybe that marriage didn't work, but I got 2 happy, healthy, well-adjusted 14-year-old and 19-year-old sons out of it, whom, I'll be honest with you, I had them because I wanted to create a better world. I wanted people to see veganism as a way to bring more peace and tranquility and more compassion to animals and to man, in this world. They are unschooled and homeschooled because I wanted to give a different perspective of things we needed to really learn about. I wanted them to become decent human beings. I don't want them to become rich and wealthy. I just wanted to become decent human beings in life. And even that's a task in a world that is so, cold and cruel and bullyish and just a lot of, negativity and drama. So, I was complaining about it. And I said, well, if you want a brighter future, maybe you have to create the future, create that brighter future. Even had an unassisted childbirth. Not a doctor, not a midwife, not a nurse. Nobody but me and my husband delivered our babies at home, safe and successfully and easily. And why? Because I really practiced, studying over the course of the years. I became a metaphysician and I became a naturopathic doctor. And in doing so, I really understood. And I thank my mother so much because she introduced me into veganism and metaphysical philosophies and all that kind of stuff. And as I grew older, I decided that this way of life and living was absolutely phenomenal. Some pros and cons out of it. Like I said, may have not developed great relationships, but what it taught me was the experience of going through those trials and tribulations, the ability to have great romantic or partner type of relationships. Even encouraged me after going from poverty, coming from a mom who was on welfare and learning about money and the trials and tribulations of that, and from my homelessness, poof, became a millionaire. In addition to that, as far as my health, having healed myself of cancer, having healed myself of lupus, major health challenges that a lot of people experience. As you can see, I'm alive, I'm healthy, and I'm well. And being able to do that and be able to still do cartwheels at 53, not bad, and still able to get into those jeans and bikini that I used to wear when I was 16 years of age. Absolutely awesome. So as you can see, that's what it's all about. I've learned over the course of the years to change that lemon into lemonade, change that tragedy into triumphs, and that's what I'm here to teach you. And the only way, the main way I was able to do that is to really do the spiritual work. Go through a major spiritual detoxification. And I really healed myself of the lack and ability of loving myself. Because to be quite honest, I didn't grow up in such a loving world because, like anything in life, it repeats itself. My mother didn't know how to love herself, and her parents didn't know how to love her. And if you think about it, unfortunately, growing up as an African American, out of a Native American, I got a lot of lineage, a lot of other blood Asian in me, and all this other kind of wonderful stuff over the course of the years. But the reality of the situation is, when people see me, they see me as an African American, which I totally, let me be very, very clear, I hold with a badge of honor. I love coming from Africa. I love my African heritage. I love the fact that I come from kings and queens of ancient Africa that has come over to America, and I've unfortunately experienced the slavery condition that my ancestors have experienced. And that's why I say this to you, that we have a major uphill battle, because in America, we could not get married. So you can understand, we suffer as a people from post-traumatic slavery syndrome. And a lot of us don't even know we suffer from it. That's why it's still proliferating. That's why we're on the lowest of the economic totem pole. That's why we're on the lowest of health conditions is concerned. We're the first to die. This is why we're spiritually sapped. We are emotionally whacked because of the trials and tribulations of us becoming attached to these titles, to these things, and not realizing who we really are as gods and goddesses. That's why I create the Holy Yogi, to really teach you to tap into the God, the goddess, the yogi, the guru inside of you, to help you. Once you get to that level, honey child, ain't nothing you can do. The question is, the question is not can you not do. The question is, what can you not do? And that's why I get you to that point. Because you know why? Guess what? I'm the poster child of realizing that you could change your hell and turn it into heaven. And when I changed my consciousness into a heavenly consciousness, when I realized that I was a goddess, I started self-actualizing and realized when you're a goddess, you are in abundance, you are prosperous, you are healthy, you are wealthy, and you are wise. And once you understand that, you go out and self-actualize in the world so you can have a health of relationships, a health of wellness as far as your being is concerned. And you can have the money to enjoy every single aspect of it. So that's what I want you to get encouraged by. Yes, you are at the right place. And over the course of the next year and years to come, I'm going to be here. I'm going to be either in my car, or I'm going to be in my home, or I'm going to be out in nature and out in the world, teach you some awesome lessons that have really galvanized other people's lives and have helped me get to the next level. I've been in a Louise Hay movie, got even a phone call from Oprah, been on so many TV shows. I've even been in National Enquirer, the Huffington Post, ABC, NBC, CBS, locally, radio, TV, and nationally, as far as news is concerned. And we'll be doing it again sometime in the near future, but I really wanted to take time and enjoy raising my children and just really enjoy my life and indirectly lead by example. I'm clear, if I can cure myself of these diseases and be an example of it, oh, you can do the same thing too. Because there have been examples of all these things. And if I can go from poverty, from a single mom on welfare, from homelessness with $36 in my checking out to $1 million in 18 months, you can too. And if I can go from relationships from hell and definitely have awesome relationships built on heaven, you can too. Once again, I always tell people there's nothing special about me that is not special about you. So this is what I want you to do. Based on some of the things that I shared, that trigger something within inside of you. What do you want to learn? Feel free. Ask the Holy Yogi. Go down below, ask me some questions. I'll be happy to ask them, totally free of charge. Because once you've been blessed, now you're in the business of blessing other people. And that's what I want to do for you. So let's say our minute meditation before we end this wonderful information for today. Okay, dear Heavenly Spirit, Divine, Gracious Mother, Father God, I thank you so much for teaching me how to tap into the yogi inside of me, how to tap into the diva inside of me, how to tap into the guru inside of me, how to tap into the goddess inside of me. So it gave me the impetus and gave me the power to help all the people throughout the world do the same thing too. Because I want you to know, please, ladies and gentlemen, do not look for the psychiatrist to tell you what you should be thinking or to give you your answers. All the answers to all your questions are inside of you. You are your first healer. You are your healer. You are your doctor. You are your lawyer. You are your psychiatrist. You are your priestess. You are everything that you need in life. Trust yourself and trust that God has endowed you with everything you need to be massively successful. And as I thank God for this knowledge and this information and this awareness about myself, I hope you become aware of it, that what I got, you got too. My mojo is your mojo too. Peace. Hatapu. Namaste. Spiritual detoxification has come your way.